Hi, this is lecture number one in the subjects of principles of microeconomics or business economics. The teaching objectives or learning outcomes of this lecture are to introduce the concepts, basic concepts like scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost. Due to these sparsity, the consumer and producer must make choices. So we shall learn how do they make choices. Then, due to the scarcity, parties trade with each other, which is beneficial for both the parties, seller and buyers. And then, in the end, we shall discuss the link between the scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost and resources with the help of a graph, which is known as production possibility curve. And then we shall see what is the difference between market economy and demand economy. Starting from the basic definition, scarcity refers to a situation in which we have limited resources and unlimited wants. We human beings, under the capitalism school of thought, assume that all human beings have unlimited wants. They want to get different products which are material as well as non material. They want to avail different services. They have big dreams, but to fulfill their wants and to achieve their goals, their resources have always been limited. So, this concept of limited resources and unlimited wants is known as scarcity in microeconomics. And basically, this is the scarcity because of which both consumers and producers have to trade off. By trade-off, we mean that when we cannot achieve two goals or two objectives at the same time. To fulfill our one want, if we have to compromise on our second want, we call it we are trading off. Uh, this is for consumer, and for producer, the trade-off refers to a situation when he has to give up some units of another product to produce more units of one product. This concept is known as trade off. For example, if I go to a grocery shop and I want to buy different things, and if to buy a specific product like cooking oil or sugar or flour, if I give up the purchasing of some other products like toothpaste, like cold drinks, we will call it that we are trading off. In the field of banking, accounting, and economics, there is a trade off between many variables. For example, first example of trade off is between liquidity and profitability. If two banks have equal deposits and one bank has kept these deposits in the form of cash reserve and the second bank has given uh, those deposits as a loan, at the end of the year, the bank which was having those deposits in the form of cash will be more liquid but less profit, and the bank which extended the loan, it will be earning profit on those loans but it will be less liquid. So there is a trade-off between liquidity and profitability. As firms, especially banking firms, they have to choose whether they want to stay liquid or they want to earn profit. A bank which is more liquid will be having less profitability, and a bank which is profitable, which is having more profit, it will be having less liquidity. Thus, there is a trade off between liquidity and profitability. Another example from the field of economics is that there is a trade off between primary objectives of central banks. Central Bank of any country, like State Bank of Pakistan, in our case in Pakistan, they have three objectives. Objective number one is to control the inflation. Objective number two is to boost the economic growth in the country, and objective number three is to increase the employment in the country. Now, to achieve these objectives, central banks make monetary policies. There are two types of monetary policies. Tight monetary policy and expansionary monetary policy. Tight monetary policy controls the inflation to some extent, but it reduces the employment and also has negative effect on economic growth. Expansionary monetary policy enhances the economic growth in the country, but it also creates the inflation. Now, if the central banks want to control the inflation, they might have to compromise on economic growth. However, if central bank make monetary policy to boost the economic growth, they might have to bear the increasing inflation. Thus, the increasing inflation and boosting economic growth, these two objectives cannot be achieved with one monetary policy. Therefore, we shall call that there is a trade-off between the objectives of central bank. As consumer and producer have to make choices due to this concept of scarcity, therefore every choice has an opportunity cost. By opportunity cost, we mean highest valued alternative that must be given up to engage in an activity. In simple words, we can say the second best option. Its cost is known as opportunity cost. Second best option which we do not select. Now, as discussed in the last slide, that because of scarcity, because the resources are limited and wants are unlimited, so all the consumers and producers they have to make choices, and all choices have an opportunity cost. By opportunity cost, we mean the next best alternative which is given up. So, given this scarcity, when people trade with each other, both get benefit from each other. Because trade is not a zero-sum game. What do we mean by zero-sum game? That benefit of one person is not the loss of another person. By trade, by allocating goods, trade benefits all parties. By trade, it doesn't mean that if one party is making profit, the second party will be making a loss. It's not like that. See this diagram. There are two persons, two producers and consumer. One is Maria, which is capable of producing sunglasses. The second person is Adam, who can produce two hats. He has resources to produce two hats. Now we know that resources are limited, therefore Adam cannot produce the sunglasses while Maria cannot produce the hat. However, Adam needs sunglasses and Maria needs hats as well. If they don't trade with each other, then Adam cannot use sunglasses while Maria cannot use hat. If they trade with each other, Maria sells a pair of sunglasses to Adam, and in return, Adam sells a hat to the Maria, and the result is that after trade, Maria and Adam both are having one pair of sunglasses and one hat each. So thus trade has benefited the both parties, Maria as well as Adam. And this is, by the way, this is known as barter trade because goods are being exchanged against the goods. If Maria gives sunglasses to Adam and gets hat back, this is known as barter trade. Now, if people can trade, then they will try to produce what they are specialized in. So trade also permits producers specialize and take advantage of the division of labor. If one person is capable or is specialized in production of agricultural goods and the second person can deliver a lecture, then they will remain in their areas of expertise. First person will continue producing crops more than he requires, and then he will trade with the person who can deliver lectures. This allows opportunity cost to be minimized if people specialize in the things in which they have a relative advantage. By relative advantage means that you can produce that product at a cost which other people cannot do. So this is your relative advantage relative to other producer, and this allows opportunity cost of the product to be minimized. Global trade allows exchange across countries and many parties in international trade is possible, and this trade becomes more easy when we bring the concept of money instead of barter trade. Money allows people to trade without bartering because bartering means exchange of goods against goods. Making global trade easier, trade between countries requires that the currencies be traded on a foreign exchange market so that the buyer of international market can buy the currency from foreign exchange market. Now we are going to explain the link between choices and resources with the help of a graph or curve. That graph is known as production possibility curve. This graph of production possibility curve or production possibility frontier has four basic assumptions. If these assumptions hold, then that graph can be made, and if one or more than one of the assumptions does not hold, then the production possibility curve cannot be made. The first assumption is that economy is operating efficiently, that is, all the resources are fully employed. The first assumption is full employment of all the resources by resources like land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. All these resources are fully employed. No resource is being wasted. The second assumption is that the available supply of resources is fixed in quantity and quality at this point of time, which means that uh, we are assuming that land is fixed, labor is fixed, capital is fixed, entrepreneurship is fixed in terms of quantity as well as the quality. And there is no new development in the technology during the analysis period because if technology improves, we can produce more units within by using the given resources and vice versa. Therefore, we assume that there is no change in the technology. And the last assumption is that we are assuming that there are only two types of products which can be produced in a country. If these assumptions hold, we can see this example. Here, the two products which an economy can produce are assumed to be movies is product 1 and computers is product 2. Now, if economy employs all the resources in the production of movies, they can produce total 500 movies, but in that case, they will be producing zero computer because all the resources have been employed or used in the production of movies. However, if the economy employs or uses all of its resources in the production of computer, the maximum number of computer which they can produce is 25,000, but in that case, they will be producing zero movies. However, if we see that if they want to increase the production of movies from 0 to 100, they will have to decrease the production of computer from 25,000 to 24,000. This is because of scarcity. Because every economy has limited resources or any producer have limited resources, so they can increase the production of movies only if they decrease the production of computers. So these are different six choices which indicates the different production of movies and computer. At B, 100 movies and 24,000 computer. If they want to increase the production of movies further to 200, production of computer will be reduced to 22,000 and so on until they reach at the last choice F. At the F, production of movies has reached from 0 to 500 while the production of computer has decreased from 25,000 to 0, and this is because of the scarcity. To produce more units of movies, we have to reduce the computer, and the number of computer reduced is known as the opportunity cost of the movies. these choices are necessary because we have issue of scarcity. We have limited resources, so these are necessary choices from A to F. Now, if we draw a graph of those choices, which we have just seen, that graph is known as production possibility curve or production possibility frontier, whose definition is graphical presentation of choices. Now see here, we have shown computers on y-axis in thousand and number of movies on x-axis in hundreds. In choice number 1, in choice A, we could produce 25,000 computers, but in that case, we were able to produce 0 movies. And you can see this from the table as well. That graph is made from this table, that when we produce 0 movies, we have the production of 25,000 computers. And when we increase the production of movies to 100, we will have decreased the production of computer from 25,000 to 24,000. Let's see, this is in this graph, that when we increase the production of movies from 0 to 1,000, we are decreasing the production of computer from 25,000 to 24,000, and we move to point B. In this way, we make points C, D, E and F. F is another extreme where production of computer is 0 and production of movies is 500. And when we combine these points A, B, C, D, E and F, we get this curve and this graph, this line. This graph is known as production possibility curve or production possibility frontier. Now let's talk about the points below this curve, like point I, above this curve like point J, and then the points along this curve. If we select a point I or any other point under this curve, that will be known as inefficient. Because why inefficient? Because we can produce more than what is indicated by point I, but we are not producing. That is why we will call it that this is inefficient production. However, any point above this PPF or PPC line, like point J, is impossible or unattainable to achieve because our resources are not enough to produce 10 computers and around 10 movies, because this point is unachievable. So we will say that this point J can be attained or achieved only if resources of a country improve or there is improvement in the technology. However, all the points lying along this line, like point A, B, C, D, E or F, are efficient as well as achievable. So let me summarize it again. Points below the PPF are achievable but inefficient. Points above the PPF like J are not attainable, not achievable, they are impossible. However, points along this line are achievable as well as efficient. This is the same thing. Points on the curve represent maximum possible combination. Points inside the curve represent underemployment or unemployment of the resources, because all resources are not fully employed if we have a point under the curve. Points outside the curve are not attainable at present because of limited resources. Optimal or best product will be some point on the curve. The exact point depends on the society. This is a normative decision, not an objective decision which can be quantitatively measured. If one person decides to produce at point B, it is possible. If another society wants to do the production at point D, it is also possible. This is normative decision. By normative, we mean it depends upon the judgment. The slope of the PPC curve steeper, showing increasing opportunity cost. That is the amount of other goods and services that must be foregone to obtain more of any given product. Now see the shape of this curve again. This shape is known as concave to the origin. This is origin of the graph, and this shape is bowed out of the origin or concave to the origin. This is concave because of increasing opportunity cost. By increasing opportunity cost, we mean that as we increase the production of one product, we have to give up more and more units of another product. For example, if you see the graph here, you will get an idea that when you increase the production of movies from 0 to 100, you have to give up 1000 computers. So 1000 computer is opportunity cost of 100 movie, while at the end when you increase the production of movies by 100 from 400 to 500, this is again 100 increase in the production of movie, but now you have to give up 13,000 computer instead of 1000. So thus opportunity cost is increasing. Because of this increasing opportunity cost, this shape is concave to the origin. If opportunity cost remains constant, this curve will be a straight line, and if opportunity cost decreases, this curve will be convex to the origin or bowed towards the origin. As economic and reason of increasing opportunity cost, its economic rationale is that economic resources are not completely adaptable to alternative uses. If economic resources are suitable for the production of movies, we do not employ them in the production of movie, and we employ them in the production of computers. They are not completely adaptable in the production of computer, so that will not be efficient use of the resources. Therefore, we have to give up more computers to increase. We have to give up more movies to increase the production of computers, as they are not completely adaptable. Or we can say, in other words, that not all resources are equally suitable in the production of all products. Now here are some basic questions. How does the society decide this optimal point on the PPC? On the PPC, we had 6 points from A to F. So a specific point decided by the society is a normative decision, and which is based on this concept that marginal benefit from each additional product consumed should be equal to the marginal cost. So the law of increasing opportunity cost reminds us that marginal costs also rise as more of a product is produced and consumed. As long as marginal benefit exceeds the marginal cost. However, when marginal benefit become equal to marginal cost, that is the optimal production, and this concept is also known as allocative efficiency. Unemployment and productive inefficiency occur when the economy is producing less than full production or any point inside the PPC. Economic growth occurs when PPC shift outward. This happens when resources supplies expand in quality or quantity and technology advances are occurring. Our present choices affect our future possibilities. Now let me explain this concept with the help of graph. Basically, in that slide, he is saying that if resources increase, we will shift upward on the y-axis, as well as we shall shift rightward on x-axis, and we will be having new PPC just above this PPC if the resources increase. The same thing happen if there is improvement in the technology. For example, if we are having the same amount of cotton every year, but in a specific year the technology of textile sector improves. Now the textile mills will be able to produce more cloths and more yarn using the same quantity of cotton just due to the improvement of technology. In that case also this PPF curve will shift right upward, and it will shift upward on y-axis and rightward on x-axis as well. Opposite to this case, if resources decrease or technology deteriorates, then this curve will shift downward. Maybe we start from 15 and we end at 3 like this. So all this depends upon the resources. If there is a change in the technology in production of one product and not the other product, for example, if there is improvement in the production of computer, this curve will shift upward on y-axis and will stay same on x-axis. It will start from the 5 and may end somewhere above the 25 on y-axis. If there is improvement in the technology of production of movies but no change in the technology of computer, then it will start from the 25 but it will move shift right on the x-axis just above the 5 point maybe 8, 9 or 10. This was the slide which I explained with the help of that graph. And now we have seen here that when there is a shift in the production possibility curve because resources have increased, so there will be new production possibility curve or frontier. Now we can produce 35,000 computer with 800 movies. If there is small growth in the resources, this PPF will be there is small difference in first PPC and second PPC. Here there is big difference, so it implies higher growth. Now about the economic system. As far as economic systems are concerned, there are two extremes. There are three main types of economic system: market economies, command economies, and mixed economies. In market economies, which are capitalism based economies, price is determined by the market forces. By market forces we mean demand and supply. So demand and supply of goods determine the price of the products. Assets and resources are owned privately by the people, and there is very limited intervention by the government. Although in reality no perfect market economy exists, however, a close to the market economy is the USA economy. On the other extreme, there is a command economy where resources are controlled by the government and government intervene in the market. For example, communism. If we want to give the example of a country, we can say North Korea is a type of command economy, and we divide them into market economy or command economy on the basis of who coordinates the economic activity and how and who owns the factor of production. Then there is mixed economy, which lies between market economy and command economy. Government allows the production, allows the market forces to determine the price, but they do intervention frequently in the market to influence the prices and allocation of resources. So there are three main differences. In market economy, there is private ownership of resources. In command economy, there is public, state or government ownership of resources. In market economy, markets and prices coordinate, and direct economic activity is coordinated by the central government. Example of market economy is USA, while example of command economy is North Korea. And now we shall do the one exercise, and we will make the production possibility frontier in Microsoft Excel with the help of an example. Thank you very much. Let's move to the Excel now. Now, when we have completed our discussion about the scarcity, about trade-off, opportunity cost, choices, their graphical presentation in the form of production possibility frontier, let's solve this example. In this example, we have two products, units of food in millions and units of clothing in millions. And due to limited resources, we have to make these choices. To when we increase the production of food from 0 units of food to 1 million unit of food, we have to decrease the units of clothing from 7 million units to 6.7 million units because of scarcity. So let's go to the Excel and first of all learn how to make the production possibility frontier. This is the same data, units of food in millions and units of clothing in millions. And we can see that if we want to increase the production of clothing from 0 to 2.2, we have to decrease the production of food from 8 to 7. And if we want to increase the production of food from 0 to 1, we have to decrease the production of clothing, and this is known as trade off. And we have to trade off because of scarcity, because of unlimited resources. We have to make these choices. So to get an idea of how to make this PPF, let's select these two variables. Go to the insert and select these charts, and then you can select this second option graph, and see here that it has made a production possibility frontier for us using this data. And as we know that this is concave to the origin, and this is concave because of increasing opportunity cost. Concave is also known as board out of the origin. This is the origin, so this is going out. So uh, this shape is concave because of increasing opportunity cost. So let's see how the opportunity cost is calculated. For example, here, if we want to increase the production of food from 0 to 7, how many units of clothing we have to give up? 7 minus 6.7, that is, so here it will be 7 minus 6.7. So our answer is 0.3. So if we draw this line till here, you will see that for the first unit of food, we have to give up 0.3 units of clothing. For the second unit of food, we have to give up 0.3 million units of clothing. For the third unit of food, we have to give up 0.4. For the fourth unit of food, we have to give up 0.4. For the fifth unit of food, we have to give up 0.6 units of clothing. For the sixth units of food, we have to give up 1 unit. For the seventh, 1.8 unit of clothing, and for the last 1 unit of food, we have to give up 2.2 million units of clothing. So we see that the units which we have to give up for each unit of food are increasing. For first 2 units it is 0.3, then the second 2 units it is 0.4, then 0.6, then 1, then 1.8, then 2.2. So as opportunity cost is increasing, because of this increasing opportunity cost, this graph appears to be concave to the origin. Now in our exercise, we can copy and paste this graph here from Excel. Question 1 is, what is the opportunity cost of moving from 4 million units of food to 5 million units of food? So see here, from 4 million units of food to 5 million units of food, we have to give up 0.6 billion units of clothing. So we shall say that opportunity cost of moving from 4 million units of food to 5 million units of food is 0.6 billion units of clothing. The next question is, what is the opportunity cost of moving from 6 million units of clothing to 7 million units of clothing? So go to the Excel again, 6 million units of clothing to 7 million units of clothing. So to increase the production of clothing from 6 to 7 million, we have to decrease the production of food from 3 million to 0. So thus, if this 3 million units of food which we cannot produce, if we increase the production of clothing from 6 million unit to 7 million unit, we call that this 3 million unit is the opportunity cost of moving from 6 million unit to 7 million unit. Then there is the in question number 4, we have to find out the opportunity cost of switching production from 0 unit of food to 2 million units of food. Okay, go back to the Excel. 0 million unit to 2 million unit. Uh, so when we increase the production of food by 2 units from 0 to 2 million units, we have to give up 0.6 million units of clothing. How do I solve 7 minus 6.4 is 0.6 and divided by 2 minus 0.2 to 0.6, which is basically how do I calculate 7 minus 6.4, this is 0.6. So we have to give up 0.6 million unit of clothing if we move the production of food from 0 million to 2 million. So we shall divide this 0.6 by 2 to get 0.3. So 0.3 is the opportunity cost here. Opportunity cost of switching production from 0 unit of food to 2 million units of food. Then the next question is, what shape is PPF in this curve? We shall say that shape of answer is that shape of PPF is concave to the origin because of increasing opportunity cost. Then the next question is, under what circumstances would the PPF be a straight line? We know that when opportunity cost remains constant, PPF, which is also known as PPC, will be straight line. Then in the last question, he asked us to, could PPF be more towards origin, which is also known as convex shape? Explain your answer. We shall say yes. It is possible only if opportunity cost increases. So this was all about our today lecture. Thank you very much. I have discussed all the basic concepts of microeconomics like scarcity, trade-off, opportunity cost, choices, and then the graphical presentation of choices in the form of production possibility, frontier, and then some points above the PPF, some points below the PPF, and then the rationale and the reasoning behind a specific shape of that PPF. Thank you very much.